There is a terrifying, almost invisible life cycle to every successful business. First comes stasis. That's followed by irrelevance. Then comes an excruciating, painful decline. And finally, death. In the corporate world, they call this Day 2. But this decay doesn't look like a sudden explosion. It happens in extreme slow motion. An established company can coast on its past successes for decades, completely unaware that the final result is already locked in. This drift into stasis isn't an anomaly. It is the natural, gravitational pull for any enterprise the moment it achieves real scale. Eventual corporate death is the default state of all businesses. Survival requires seeing that reality for what it is and building specific, constant defenses against it. As scale and capability increase along this horizontal axis, agility and intuition on the vertical axis naturally plummet. Complexity breeds bureaucracy. Layers of management act as dead weight, pulling the organization down into perilous Day 2 territory. It's a threat so pervasive, Jeff Bezos named the building he works out of Day1. It serves as a physical reminder to his entire organization to resist that natural decay. A massive global corporation cannot survive just by resting on its size. It has to artificially engineer the intuition, the hunger, and the velocity of a tiny startup. Scaling up introduces the disease of distance. As management layers separate executives from customers, middle layers fill with proxies like process. Employees focus on checking boxes, defending bad results by saying they followed the process, completely losing sight of the actual customer. Market research and customer surveys become another dangerous proxy. Teams rely on cold statistics, like a beta test satisfaction score bumping from 47 to 55%, as a comfortable substitute for actually developing deep intuition about what people want. The only effective countermeasure is an obsessive focus on the end user. Customers are always wonderfully dissatisfied, even when business is great. That persistent dissatisfaction is what drives true invention. No customer ever filled out a survey asking Amazon to create the Prime membership program. It was born entirely from that deep, intuitive desire to delight people, not from focus groups. True customer obsession shatters that corporate proxy wall. It forces a massive company to invent from scratch, rather than just endlessly tweaking existing products. Then there is the disease of legacy. Massive companies often want to protect their current, highly profitable assets, so they end up fighting the future. If you ignore or resist powerful external trends, you are practically guaranteeing your company will be pushed right into the irrelevance of Day 2. Right now, machine learning and artificial intelligence represent one of those undeniable external forces. The speed of this technology means it must be aggressively embraced. Rather than just relying on highly visible consumer tech like drones or voice assistants, Amazon integrates machine learning quietly beneath the surface. It powers algorithms for demand forecasting, product search ranking, and fraud detection. By eagerly weaving these massive external trends directly into their core operational machinery, a company turns a potentially disruptive threat into a powerful tailwind. The final major hurdle is the disease of bureaucracy. Large organizations often make highly accurate, well-reasoned decisions. The problem is they make them agonizingly slowly. To combat this, use the 70% rule. Waiting for 90% certainty means you're moving too slow. Act at 70%. Making a fast, wrong decision is cheaper than a slow, right one, because acting quickly lets you rapidly pivot and correct course. Another tactic to bypass the exhausting pursuit of corporate consensus is the phrase, disagree and commit. It's a way to force a decision even when teams are completely misaligned. Bezos used this exact tactic when his team wanted to greenlight an Amazon Studios original. He thought the business terms were weak and the production was too complicated. But instead of killing it, he told his team he disagreed, committed to their vision, and got out of the way. That same studio team went on to win Emmys, Golden Globes, and Oscars. Without quick escalation and commitment, teams end up managing by attrition. They just wear each other down through endless meetings. That sheer exhaustion destroys energy and completely stalls momentum. Forcing quick escalations and committing despite deep disagreement provides the structural bypass needed to maintain startup-level decision velocity within a giant organization. Operating a massive global entity with the nimbleness of a startup is a constant friction. The pull towards stasis is always there. If you don't strictly enforce these artificial mechanisms, like dismantling proxies, acting on 70% of data, and committing through disagreements, true misalignment will just quietly exhaust your organization. The architect of this entire framework built one of the largest companies on Earth by remaining fiercely paranoid about becoming a traditional corporation. Day1 functions as a daily active choice, a refusal to let the comfort of scale replace the hunger of a startup. Look at your own teams and projects. Are you being guided by tailwinds and high-velocity decisions? Or are you secretly managing a slow, comfortable decline into day 2?